But all right, today we're doing probably my favorite thing ever. We're doing a vegan burger taste test. We've waited too long for this. It's been requested many times by this guy mainly. Nope, stop it. Gosh. So this is our good friend Nathan, and he demanded to be here today. Yes, asked several months ago actually.
That's right.
Yeah. So had to be here today because there are so many options in the vegan burger world now. It's pretty much like a given. If you're a vegan company, you come out with a burger. It just happens.
And we have about 75 to go through.
We have 10 burgers. So we're gonna do these in clips and try to keep it all organized and stuff. But
Right. So how are we judging them?
all right, we are judging by the before cooking smell, because that can be very traumatizing. After cooking smell, the texture, because that can also be a little weird. The taste during, and if there's an aftertaste, because sometimes things have a little lingering taste that's not so great. So we'll see how it is.
Yeah, we'll be doing this in multiple video parts, so we'll kind of have to go through each one in case you didn't see the ones how to do it. But yeah.
And we're gonna do burgers plain off the grill, all cooked in the same way,
Yes.
supervised.
So to clarify, they were all cooked. First 2 minutes were, I'm going to make sure the chef is saying this accurate. The first couple minutes was on high. The rest of the time was on a medium high. 5 minutes each side. This is the average for each package. We looked at them. They all said if they're frozen, 5 to 6. If they're thawed, 4 to 5. So we went 5 is the average. So everything that we're doing in all this video and all subsequent videos are going to be 5 minutes each side on the same grill, the same 2 minutes, and then the rest of the time on each side medium.
They've all got grill marks, which is nice.
So it tells us also how well they cook as far as
yes,
well, medium well, with the ice in the middle. Tell us that way as well.
We also learned a little bit so far in our first set that one of the 3 we're trying right now sticks to the grill. So we'll talk about that too. We're also going to try them on buns. We have Dave's Killer Burger Buns. We have the white bread version, and then one that's kind of a whole grain with seeds. So we're going to try them on buns to see how they are. I'm not putting any condiments on them. I don't know what these guys are doing. We also have my beautiful friend Brittany off to the side. I don't know if you can see her, but she might be here.
Stick in.
She's going to try the gluten-free versions. So we've actually talked about Brittany a few times on the podcast. We do talk about you. Because we talk about, how sometimes it is difficult to be vegan if you have certain health issues, and Brittany is an example of that. So we are going to try first. Which one you guys can pick? You want to try?
I'm actually interested in the Lightlife in the middle because it looks the most like a real burger.
Okay, all right. Should we get forks or should we just hand?
I'm just going to wash my face.
All right, everybody pick a Lightlife.
And bear in mind these, because Brittany can certify that. Go ahead.
Okay.
These are all gluten free. Yes. Correct. So these we're doing Incogmeato. I don't know if you said which one we're doing. Nope. Incogmeato, Lightlife, and Impossible. All 3 are gluten free.
So this one is not only gluten-free, but there's no soy, no GMOs. Pea protein is the protein used in a Lightlife. Now this one definitely has its more organic shape, which I thought was interesting.
But get the smell in first too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it smells good.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So what we found when grilling these 3 is Lightlife sticks to the grill a little bit, which is interesting. Because they all kind of have the same, not ingredients, but the same a level of fat and stuff like that. So we're not really sure why it would stick to the grill, but
yeah, I don't know if the cooking time is right. It's not undercooked in the middle. Little pinker in the middle. But drop the pieces. We got a puppers walking around.
Yes, we do have a puppy. If you happen to hear little feet, or I don't know, I don't know what he might. You never know.
You hear me squeal and run away going puppies because there's a dog playing. I want to play with it.
Okay.
The look here is.
Yes, everybody has. We're taking notes on our thoughts. Okay, so all right, by itself.
So.
This was
Smell after?
Lightlife, babe.
If I write numbers down,
Lightlife.
Oh, yes, it is.
Smell after.
Wow. Okay.
Then we have
We have texture.
texture and taste, right?
Texture, taste, aftertaste. Which is like, I don't really taste an aftertaste.
Yeah, I don't either.
There's nothing like, it doesn't change.
No.
It stays
Pretty
basically the same, which is nice because sometimes there is like a substantial difference. I just wrote all over myself. Okay, now we do have to test it on the bun. So everybody can grab a piece of burger on the bun. Well, anyone that can have gluten.
I'll be using cassava flour waffles.
Which sounds
If you're
awesome.
wondering. These are not vegan though, because they have egg in order to bind them. They do make vegan gluten-free buns.
My husband is trying it on the bun.
I mean, yeah, not much change from the bun. Doesn't really. The reason the bun, I thought I'm more concerned about the bun instead of doing flavor, or there's really more moisture and drying it out. That's what the bun taste is for. That's really suggested. Whether or not it actually dries it out, because I've had it before. Like a bun gets soggy because maybe too much of a fat content. Bun gets soggy and you with like a dry burger and a wet bun. So
Oh my.
I have a whiff bun.
I love this.
That is a remarkably good burger.
You're tasting Salisbury steak.
Oh!
It's just what it tastes and smells like. It's like,
I've had it
like
years.
a Salisbury
You know what? I have been trying to figure out what that taste was, and you're
I
right.
can't have anybody.
It is very much Salisbury steak without gravy on top.
So you could literally just, I don't know why I'm chewing in you could literally put a little bit of gravy on there to make a vegan Salisbury steak.
Interesting.
That is so good.
Yeah, that was delicious.
Okay,
Talk scores.
yeah, I'm gonna say I give it a 5 because it is still my favorite burger. I like the texture. I like the taste of it. It's not like some weird, I don't know, strange. I give it 5 in everything. I liked everything. Even the smell beforehand, which it didn't really have a smell at all, was like great. So I'm gonna go 5 overall. It's my favorite. I'm sure something might.
I gave it a 4 for the smell after it was cooked, only because I grew up eating microwave Salisbury steak, and so it I was like, no, okay.
That triggered it.
But
right
it
there.
tasted better than like the microwave Salisbury. Like it tasted better.
All right.
I went with it averaged to 4.5 because the smell was almost scentless. I detected something and it didn't quite smell like meat, so I give that a 4.
Okay.
The smell after I gave a 5. It smelled just like a burger.
It does.
The taste I gave a 4 because this is the first one I've tasted and I don't want to give a 5. But it's an excellent taste. I really, really like it. There's no aftertaste, and the texture is definitely a 5. It's just like a burger in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm changing my vote real quick.
Okay. All right.
I
Go.
had time to think. All right. So I actually used my categories. So no, I'm paying you guys.
I did too.
I'm messing with you. Smell before had a 4. No real smell to it, which is good because most of them usually smell cat food. We'll get into that.
Yes.
soon, I'm sure.
And David is sensitive to smells too, so.
Yeah. I gave Ted the smell after a 4. It smells the same as it did
Okay.
both ways. Texture's a 3. To me, it's a little, it falls apart a little bit more than I would like. It's a little,
Okay.
it's not quite as loose, which makes sense because Lightlife actually their fiber is fairly low. It's like 1%, where there's somewhere like 3 or more. The taste, the taste of it was fine. Was 3. And after was 3, just nothing changed.
Oh, you're so rude.
And then, sorry. And with the bun was a 3. Then nothing changed. The bun didn't get like, because they stay here for a few minutes, so the bun didn't get like soggy from any like extra fat oils. The burger didn't get dry sitting there, so I probably averaged about over like a 3.5.
All right, so this is the Lightlife that we're talking about. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of info about it before we move on to the next thing. So 250 calories, 17 grams of fat, no cholesterol, which is always a good thing. All of these are no cholesterol. 6 grams of carbs for anybody that might be diabetic. That's an important thing. 20 grams of protein. Stop asking us where we get our protein. It's from burgers. Get over it. I also calculated how much calcium and protein are in each burger because that is like, that's interesting. Potassium, you're right. Thank you. Because I think that's an interesting stat that you don't normally have in a burger because they're, not made from plants. So 20 milligrams of calcium in the Lightlife and 370 milligrams of potassium. It's a lot. Not the highest of the day though, so we'll get to it. So these are my favorite. You can get them pretty much anywhere now. Publix, Sprouts, Whole Foods. I mean, you can get them everywhere. So that's definitely a good option.
Even though I couldn't find them.
I know, but I found them. Todd found them at Publix yesterday. Just easy. Yeah, and in the same cabinet as chicken breasts, real ones, which he almost picked up because he didn't know what the heck was happening. They just mix things together nowadays. I hate that. All right, which one are we gonna do next? Let's do Incogmeato.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
This one looks like it grilled a little bit more, which is interesting to me. So, Incogmeato.
Hands over the packaging.
Incogmeato.
All right, I grab
before smell.
All right, so
We want to talk about it.
This is the after.
The before smell was awful.
Cat food.
Cat food. I gave it a
That's what I
1.
wrote down. Yep.
So as far as
Definitely improved after cooking.
absolutely, yeah, we cooked it on the same time with roughly the time frame it says from frozen. And to me, it looks a little more rare in the center.
It does, and it definitely bled a little bit, like real meat would do.
Right, it doesn't have the heme iron in it like Impossible. It doesn't have beet in it like Lightlife does. So I think the red comes from vegetable juices, which is listed in the ingredients. But this says as far as its cooking instructions, which I was trying to find, but I think it says like 5 to 6 minutes. So I mean, even frozen, so it should have cooked all the way through, and it didn't. So that's something to bear in mind if you like it. Sorry, I'm picking up pieces that drop. If you want something that's cooked a little more through, the Incogmeato might need to be cooked a little longer. So.
Interesting. I feel like the texture is not my favorite. I gave it like a 3 on that just because so far it feels like drier almost. I don't know if that's it just feels like a way more thicker texture. Let's try it on the bun and see how it goes. Husband, you want to come try the bun version? Oh, wow, I did a horrible job cutting. Here, babe, here's your falling apart bun version.
Thank you.
Oh, he puts ketchup on his over there.
Oh, there we go. All right.
You want ketchup?
On this one, I definitely do.
Nathan feels the same way. It almost does. Oh, interesting. You know how you said you wanted to try it on the bun because you're worried that it would lose its like flavor? It does a little bit to me.
It's almost overpowered by my bun.
That really changed it
It totally changed it. Okay, so
with
I got
ketchup.
mine.
the taste without ketchup by itself is not something that I would really do on purpose.
Wow.
One thing I want to notice.
But when you put the ketchup on,
Does it
totally changes the taste.
One point I was.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm biased to the ketchup because I like I want them separate. But if you, I don't know if y'all like see how the bun's getting kind of squishy.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Not a
It's
deal.
getting,
Oh, it is. The top
really
is a
like
little
that one.
soft.
yeah, for me, yeah, the bottom is gonna soft. Yeah, but it's absorbing a lot
That's
more of the oils.
really good.
That's
I
interesting.
Didn't like it beforehand, but with that ketchup, it makes
ketchup does
such
change
a
it.
huge difference.
If the ketchup changes the taste profile.
Completely.
It tastes more like a burger with the ketchup.
It does.
Wow.
I feel like it definitely holds on to that charcoal grilled flavor a little bit more
Yeah.
than the Lightlife did, which is nice. Like you know it was on the grill for sure. I think the texture's just a little dry for me, which is probably what the ketchup helps a lot with, is that it's a little bit more moist too. I say it's dry, but like David said, my bun is a little bit softer and squishier than I was expecting. I gave it like an overall 3.5, 1 for my before smell. That's uncomfortable. Be prepared for it. 3 for the after cook smell. It's not like my favorite smell, but it's not horrible. 3 for texture, 3 for taste, 3 for aftertaste, so 3.5 total. It's definitely mine. It's good,
I'm
but
way higher.
Well,
Yeah.
you're not a
Give
part
me
of this
that
backup over there.
I started lower and then went a little higher with the ketchup. To me, it was very salty without
Yes.
the bun.
Mhm.
I did like that it had that little bit of char taste to it a little bit more. It makes you feel more. It came off the grill.
Yeah.
The aftertaste, I gave it a 5 because for me there really wasn't like a lingering aftertaste, which is nice. Sometimes you're like, no. But the ketchup it turned it into something completely different. So I
That's
went overall like 4 afterwards because after the ketchup.
Right, what'd you do?
Now.
So smell before was a 2.
Oh.
That smelled like rotten for give a 1. It has to be really bad to get a 1, but 2. And there's one that's over there that I would probably give a 1. I do not like. The smell after was a 3. Definitely improved. Texture was a 2. It felt to me it was a little rubbery, a little chewier than I would have liked. The initial taste was a 3. Tasted fine. Tasted just like the other one. There wasn't too much to it. A little saltier, to your point, which actually I kind of like a little saltier, so that worked for me. Aftertaste, I did have an aftertaste.
Really?
I mean, it has like a, not metallic, but there's something there.
Oh, interesting.
I have an aftermouth feel.
That's
But I don't
exactly
have
what I
an
got.
Maybe that's what I'm getting there, because
Yeah.
there's something there that I don't like.
Interesting.
It,
I
but
can
don't
feel
like
it in my mouth still, but it's not like an aftertaste.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Something's definitely interfering with like overall, but yeah. So I give it a 2 because there's something lingering that I don't like. And with the bun, I kind of gave it a 3. It definitely dried out more, but I think it helped the flavor a little bit. Having it in the bun, but it definitely dried out more than I would like. So having more flavor, but dry kind of bounces out to a 3, which is not even.
Right. Let's hear what you got.
And I averaged it a 3. The smell beforehand was 2, very cat foody.
Right.
Afterwards, it went up to a 4.
Okay.
The taste without the ketchup and the bun was a 2 for me. I really didn't care for it, and then thankfully had the ketchup and the bun, and it brought it up to really what I would expect from maybe a burger at a Six Flags or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
And so I gave it a 4 on that, so it averaged to a 3.
Okay.
The aftertaste for me was the same thing as you. It didn't have a taste as much as a slick texture
Oh,
in
Yeah,
my
I'm still
mouth
like sitting here doing
Yeah.
that.
that I
Your
didn't
mouth
have
is
as much
film,
with the bun.
Yeah.
And then the texture itself was a 3. It wasn't anything remarkable, but it wasn't bad. So with a bun and ketchup, I would eat this again. Without it, no thank you.
No, the first one
Okay.
I would have just eaten. Like,
Right.
If I did not have a gluten-free bun and then that's what you guys were eating, I'd be like, cool.
Okay.
Fork and knife it. I'm good.
Ketchup must ready to go.
Okay,
Exactly.
so the Incogmeato needs a ketchup. It needs
something,
extra
yeah.
stuff to it. So that's interesting.
Because I even didn't finish the non-bun one. I'll wipe this off. Mouth feels down.
So we kind of cut the cover, but it looks like this. It's the green kind. I have not seen this brand very often. I will say that it's not everywhere, and it is Incogmeato. I didn't even notice that at first, so I'm just gonna point that out.
And just for all of our averages, things we have, I'll try to put somewhere
Yes. Well,
on
in
the
the show
screen,
notes.
somewhere.
Oh yes,
I'll put
pop up.
Yeah, put it like somewhere because we go on YouTube.
Right
So-
here.
Right across his face the entire time. Exactly.
And we'll tell you to also go look at our other taste tests up there somewhere. We also have a
I'll try-
cocktail taste test too, which was fun
I'll
too.
try to put a little card up. Get all fancy with it.
All right, so 280 calories in one of these, 18 grams of fat, no cholesterol, 14 grams of carbs, 20 grams of protein, the same as Lightlife, so that's good. 190 milligrams of calcium and 660 milligrams of potassium. Good grief.
Which if you listen to our episode on heart health, potassium is extremely important for heart health.
Which we have talked about that. We just put out a gut health one. Wow, honey, you're.
That's it. The best part is he goes under the camera to try to avoid it, and we just call it out. Anyway.
Yeah, because it's hysterical. Okay.
All right, one more.
Your
One
husband is
more.
adorable.
He is. All right, we're gonna do one more in this group, and then we're gonna cook some more. All right, this is the Impossible Burger, the like OG legendary one. It's also fat. This is a
Definitely
thick
thicker.
girl. Look at this.
Okay, so same. So same thing, definitely undercooked in the time frame that was given. Again, they all cooked the same amount of time. Definitely pinker in the middle. I'm not a rare burger person,
The
but
look that just went across your face, oh my god. I don't know if you can see how wide his eyes just got.
Holy cats.
Oh man.
Is that impossible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
It's so good.
And the
Like,
texture's spot on.
It's so good. Oh.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
okay. So.
Man.
That's just what my scores are saying.
Wow. It's so yummy, and it's such a thick burger. You get so much, like, it feels like, you know, like a real meat burger, how you would make it like really thick. Like, it feels like that, but like a hefty one. I feel like when Impossible first came out, it wasn't as thick of a patty. Am I wrong? I feel like they beefed it up a little bit.
Pun
I think-
totally
yeah, I think-
intended.
Yeah.
I think it changed because it used to be only restaurant only could get it.
Yes.
So I think maybe it was different for restaurants, and maybe I think they thickened it up for a home setting.
Yeah, and it's only been here, babe. I think it's only been like a few months that we've been able to get it, right? Like, or
think so,
maybe
yeah.
a year at the most.
Because the problem they were having is getting it to stay
Yeah.
whole.
I'm gonna try some.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
gonna
try it first without.
adjust the recipe and make it where it stay together. I think on the
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Just a good burger. It's not like
Are you okay?
it's not like a good vegan burger. It's a
so
good burger.
good. And also, if you're hearing anything weird, it's my puppy sleeping. I thought for sure he was going to be completely freaking out over
'Cause
the
now
fact that
I'm
we have
just eating a
food,
burger.
and he doesn't care.
He was harassing me for a little bit, and I was like, no. Okay, I'm sorry.
Now he is snoring
I'll put a
asleep.
little on there because now I'm just eating a good burger. Wow, I just want a little bit though.
Okay.
And I'm gonna squeeze and a bunch is gonna come out. There we go.
Okay, I'm going to go first. Wow, he's snoring so loud. It's the cutest thing I've ever heard. I can't believe, I'm going to say 5s across the board again. Same as Lightlife, and I actually think they're comparable to me. I like both of them the same, but Impossible is easier to get at restaurants and things like that. It's definitely more available. You can get this Impossibles at Burger King. That's literally what they make their vegan burger from, is an Impossible burger. So that's pretty great. A 5 across the board. It smelled good beforehand, smells great now. Texture is so freaking good. It's like juicy and delicious. The taste is amazing. With the bun, it's even better. I've had it a million times, so I know what it tastes like with ketchup too. It's my favorite. 5s across the board. I'm easy to please though, so. You want to go since you're so mean and brutal? Go ahead.
I mean, I gave 4 pretty much across the board. Smell before, smell after. There's no really smell to it before. Smell after smells like a charred burger on a grill. Texture of 4. Taste after taste. Now here's the thing. I gave it a 4. It does have like, to me, it does have like a film to it, but not more like a traditional burger kind of way, where it's just like, because there's fat in it. So there's no aftertaste
Right.
that kind of lends to that for me. So give it a 4, which definitely did a lot better than the other ones. On the buns, a 5. It doesn't really soak up the fats, and it kind of enhances the flavor a little bit because the buns have like salts and stuff in them. I think that enhances the flavor. So if this is something, if you have friends over who are not vegan, this is like, so far
This is
all
it.
of our 10 burgers. This is your guy so far.
Yes.
I went 5s across the board. It smelled like a frozen burger patty when it was still when it was ready. Like it smelled like a burger. It smelled like a burger when it was done. It tasted like a burger.
Yep.
It felt like a burger. Like it was just a good burger, not a good vegan burger. A
Right.
good burger.
Lovely.
For me, I went, it averaged a 4.75. On the,
Like it. I love it.
the smell beforehand was a 5. After, I actually gave it a 4 because it smelled a little less like a burger
Okay.
than it did before it got put on the grill for me.
Correct.
The taste, hands down, this is a 5.
Yeah.
The taste is impossibly good. As far as aftertaste, I didn't have any aftertaste. The texture, I gave a 4 only because I could detect little pieces in there for the occasional bite that,
Okay.
that were less like meat and more like
A plant.
something
crumbs
else.
mushed together. Yeah.
But honestly, if I didn't know that this was a vegan burger, I would think you were just serving me a really good burger. So I actively like this.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
I was at a restaurant in Atlanta and ordered an Impossible Burger with standard lettuce, cheese, not cheese, but lettuce. They don't have vegan cheese there. Otherwise, what has lettuce, tomato, onion, the whole deal. They brought it to me, and there was something on the side that they brought that wasn't vegan. I ordered a different side, and the server came over and she went, "Oh, you're vegan?" I'm like, yeah. She goes, "Don't eat that." And she pulled it because they gave out the real thing. And I didn't know that. I looked at it, I couldn't tell. I smelled it, I couldn't tell. And if they hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have known. I'd have been very sick.
Yes.
And I've had cross contamination before, so I know what it does to you, and that's not fun.
It is
So
very
I
hard to tell.
I couldn't tell. Like, oh yeah, obviously this is it, and it wasn't. It looked right, it smelled right, everything, and it was not right. So,
Yeah.
Still be your closest guy.
Very interesting. All right, so it is a soy protein based burger, 240 calories, 14 grams of fat, no cholesterol, 9 carbs, 19 grams of protein, so 1 gram less, 170 milligrams of calcium, and 610 milligrams of potassium. Again, a lot. Now, you get Impossible Burgers at Sprouts, Whole Foods now. I think I've seen them at Publix a few times.
Kroger.
I got this at Costco. Big, giant bag, 8 patties, and still going strong with them. So you can definitely buy them in bulk, which is just like, I feel for the vegans of like 20 years ago, because I feel so spoiled even 6 years later, because when I first started, this was not available even 6 years ago. So
10 years ago, if you wanted a vegan burger, you're making black bean burgers at home.
yes,
That's what I thought. I thought we were gonna have at least a few black bean burgers
No.
because I didn't know there were that many that weren't,
Yeah.
and that's what I ate
Yeah.
when I would have a non-meat burger.
Yep.
And it never tasted like a burger.
No.
No.
I mean, it tasted good. They
Yeah.
were good. Don't get me wrong, but it was never like I think this tastes like a burger.
you're like,
Not
this
once.
is some beans.
Yep.
I mean the taco patty.
Taco patty on a bun.
That's what it is. All right, so the burger to beat is definitely impossible, and we are going to go on to 3 more now. So.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.
Yep.
Bye, guys.